All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and get into the semifinals match of this August playoffs, and that's going to be between Danger Close and Salt. Here with me as last match is Rockstar. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good and enjoyed this World of Walls video, which I'm still watching right now because we're on a delay. That's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I really like that. That's by One and Only 16. You can go ahead and look them up on YouTube. Now, the match that we're going to be going over today, I'm pretty sure that you know them. We'll go ahead and tell the stream what they are.
Yeah, so it's going to be Danger Close versus Salt, which for those that know your history of Silver League, know exactly why this is a quite painful match for me to watch.
I do believe so.
So, obviously, Danger Close, my alma mater as you were. I left them after last season. It was a team that I ran for a very long time. However, the team is pretty much only the same in name these days. Only a few players remaining from last season. And that being said, when I was still on the team, we took it all the way to the quarterfinals of Silver League and lost to Salt in the first round of playoffs in overtime due to one round. Salt always played very well. They're a very good team, a lot of very talented players, and I think it's going to be one heck of a matchup right now.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get on to the first match, which is going to be on Mines with DCG on the attack. Now, we're going to go ahead and go over the lineups. We have an RU251, 3 Bat Chats, a 50B, and 2 113s. And on the side of Salt, we're going to have 2 113s, 2 Bat Chats, a TVP, a Grill, and an RU251.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this lineup for DC shouts some sort of 1-2 line play, and just looking at their opening lineup, it looks like it's going to be exactly that. 113 is just kind of holding still, looking for some shots and anything pushing hill, and the rest of the tanks are pushing down the one line. And they're just going to go ahead and push without even waiting, and that Grill 15 going to put a big shot into Spirit, puts him down to 1,000 HP right off the bat. Another shot comes in from the 113, hitting his track, but not doing any damage, and he will get over there safely. However, there are 2 bat chats that are going to keep these bats pinned.
It seems like they're going to try and get some shots on Spirit Leader, but Silent Demise is going to get picked up extremely quickly as the Grill 15 and the Bat Chats basically double tap him with the help of the 113. It's going to keep trying to get shots into this Bat Chat here. They are managing to get it, but they're losing so much hit points to do so. I'm not really sure that it's worth it.
Yeah, they need to find a way to get these bat chats down quickly. However, they've already lost so much HP. That Grill putting off 2 massive shots during that opening push. Very good damage there, and the bat chats just able to play cleanup. And they've left Spirit Walker and get clicked on almost no HP. So Danger Close definitely have their work cut out for them.
Now we're going to see the 113s in the hill try and push over. Seems like the RU251 is going to spot them, so they're going to go ahead and he is going to run away, possibly going for a hill boost or whatever. But the RU251 on the side of Salt is in position to spot any kind of boost that goes up that hill.
Yeah, and Danger Close are in a pretty tough position right now. These 113s stuck in the low ground with all these tanks above them. That TVP is moving into a position where he can get shots onto the bat chats in the south, and both those bat chats just getting picked off. Great play there from RG. And this is already not looking good for Danger Close.
I bet this is painful for you.
Just a little bit, but like I said, it's been a long time since I've been on their team. A lot of good guys. I trust them. Gave the team over to them, but you know, they're boat to run these days, and they've been putting in the work, but obviously still some grind pains. And Salt, also formerly known as Spaghetti Slappers, been around for I think 3 seasons now, and they are a very competent, well-practiced team, as you can see.
Well, that leaves 2 113s up as well as the RU251 that's being chased by a TVP and an RU in the background there. These 113s are basically trapped right here from the Bat Chats on that island and the 113s over this hill. And this girl is going to start moving up, but again, it's a little bit too late. DCG is completely surrounded right here, and there's no way they can bring this back. Short of a few ammo racks.
It's very hard to make that push down the one line right off of the bat, especially once they spotted that there was no one going hill. It was pretty obvious that they were coming down the one line. And when you bring a Grill 15, you bring that Grill with the intention of making sure 2 things. 1, you punish any sort of one-line push, and 2, if they just push over the 4-5 line, you punish anything that tries to get under those tanks underneath the hill. And, you know, that Grill just did a massive amount of work. The bat chats pushed blindly, and when, you know, they're pushing in to bat chats that already hold down in good positions with those guns covering them, there just isn't a lot you can do, and it was a very tough situation for them to dig themselves out of. And obviously, Salt just doing a very good job at punishing them for making that play, and just no way out for them.
Right, and we're going to go ahead and look at the results at the very end.
So 113 is CU Space Cowboy coming in at 976 for danger close, so no one on that team breaking 1,000. Meanwhile, Gym Leader Misty and Coldstream both doing pretty good damage in the bat chat, and then that Gorilla 15 coming in at 2K. So pretty respectable there across the board. Just, no one able to really get anything going for danger close, but that once again has to do more with them doing that blind push right off the bat. They didn't scout anything. They didn't know where any of the tanks were for Salt, so it's hard to make that sort of push without having any sort of solid intel ahead of time.
Right. I would say that Mines is definitely starting to become more of a defensive oriented map, but ish.
Well, it was starting to turn into a defensive sided map towards the beginning of the season. Especially with the Girls 15 and all these burst heavy tanks, because a lot of teams, especially with the introduction to TVP, that really
it forces people to stop attacking the hill. Really.
Yeah, exactly. Before, the meta was, both teams were at least going to challenge the hill because of those because of bat chats having a while to reload, and back even before that it was nothing but T54s and T49s and 1390s, and so there was some sort of logic to how you go about it. Do you bring T69s? What advantage can you get? And it was a mind game between both teams, and they try to find a way to take the hill from either side. However, with all this burst and the south end, getting to the hill a little bit slower, teams have stopped trying to contest it, and so they go for more of a 1-2 line type defense, and it doesn't take a whole lot to defend that one cap. Now, the one thing I will note, though, is you got to look at what some of the new Gold League teams have been doing, especially with that 0-line boost that you can now do, or climb, as it will be. If you can get a gun up into there, you can really force back the bottom kilo line, and then all of a sudden that one cap becomes a possibility. So if you can control the hill, or at least the east side of the hill, and the 0-line hill, that one cap all of a sudden is a ton more viable than it was before.
Right, and that 0-line boost is definitely easier from the north, so the attacking team does have an advantage.
Oh, absolutely. And, looking at both these teams, Danger Close bringing a 140, 4 bat chats, a 215B, and a M4043. Meanwhile, Salt bringing a 113, 3 bat chats, a TVP, a Tier 9 bat chat AP, and a M5355. So both teams opting to go for the cancer this round.
Yeah, they're both going to bring that arty, and that is either going to slow them down or they're just going to push right into the other team. We're going to go ahead and see. But DCG opting to bring, they're pretty much sending a lot of people towards that one line, while Salt really only sending that Batchat AP. They're going to send up Spirit Walker up to the hill to see what's going up that way, possibly doing that boost to get on the backside of the hill, possibly scout it, get some lights on for that arty, but it seems like Spirit Walker does miss the boost and is not able to get onto the back of the hill, so they're not going to have that much vision right there. But we see Nally over here behind this building, watching for that boost that might be coming down the 0 line. So that's you're starting to see teams completely counter to that boost now.
Yeah, and the thing about that spot is it's just a very easy spot to just even prox light the hill, even if you don't take the climb all the way up. And so you can get solid intel, what's up there, and it allows you to get a bit closer than being all the way down on the bottom of the hill. It closes that 50-meter prox range. And so it can be useful, and it gives you a little bit more vision there. So I do like the use of it. However, Spirit Walker fell off the first time, and so far has failed at every attempt to get back up there. Only things to note is they have this single Tier 9 Batchat AP over on the 1 line, and the M5355 sitting all the way back at a 1, extremely cautious positioning out of the artillery from Salt.
Seems like Spirit Walker is going to miss the boost again and narrowly dodging arty.
And a nice shot there from Get Clicked, living up to his name, putting up almost 800 onto that Batchat.
It's half the HP of that Batchat almost completely gone. You see Natalie still over there down that 9 line, watching for anyone trying to get that 0 line boost. And it's pretty well spread out. I mean, this is sort of how Mines' defense is starting to do. You just spread out and wait for someone to push into you. Because it's just, you have those TVPs, and
Which we're
Spirit
actually
Walker.
only seeing 1 TBP out of the offense this time.
Spirit
And
Walker keeps failing this boost.
yeah, so I'm not putting enough practice there into that. Another artillery shot coming in, another 500. So that artillery already working dividends. And okay, what I just saw confused me. Did you just see what I saw?
What?
So Giggles in the M5355 is trying to counter battery Clicked, and right when Clicked fired his artillery shell at the bat chat, he got that shot. The M53 fired to counter. However, where that M53 fired is he fired all the way over into Kilo 9. That look at the positioning of the arty, and then just think about that. So he didn't even actually see a tracer. Meanwhile, he reloads and gets the shot that time, as I'm sitting there talking about all that.
Yeah, it's
That
pretty
is
much
hilarious.
only 2 spots already can be on this map.
Yep. Well, and the one he fired was a really generic spot over on another spot, over on the 9 line, excuse me, and that was a much better shot.
And Spirit
Got it done.
finally getting this boost done and falls
No.
right back
See,
off.
He's trying too hard to go all the way up instead of just stopping halfway up, and he can get some more positioning there. He can climb back up on the backside there.
Yeah, once you get up on that first part, you don't need any momentum, but a huge shot coming off, taking another like half the HP off of Spirit Walker there from the M53, but now they know where the arty is.
Yeah,
this bat chat move.
Okay.
Well, he was going to move on the side of the
and
hill.
this is really clever arty positioning actually out of Salt here. By putting this artillery all the way over here, he has a clean line of sight onto this boost right here, where he already shot Spirit Walker once. And if Spirit Walker gets lit again, I would expect to see this artillery completely annihilate him, especially because he only has 1100 HP left.
Gym Leader Sarge almost has shots on that on a Spirit Walker if he gets up that boost as well.
So Spirit's actually going to make it out of there and get into the base. However, Danger Close already down that tier 8 artillery. And he was doing, Clicked was doing good work until he got countered there, but he got a little bit complacent and decided not to move, and it was a good counter battery out of Giggles.
Out of all this arty play, they're pretty much even on hit points, and well, until Spirit Walker, for some reason, drove out of the bush and ended up receiving a hit for that.
Yeah.
And there goes arty taking just deleting
second
Spirit
kill
Walker.
So yeah, and I'm kind of curious about that counter battery onto Click, because Click hadn't actually fired recently, so I'm kind of wondering if he fired that shot off over towards the 9 line after he fired, but was secretly watching over towards Kilo 4, trying to distract him, maybe make him think that he wasn't didn't have any idea where he was, and hoping that the arty wouldn't move when he fired his next shot. If that makes any sense at all, that's just beyond the level of mind games I think would be useful to play. So I'm still just I'm kind of hung up on that, but that was just a really interesting string of events. Meanwhile, they are shifting off of the hill.
Yeah, it seems like they've decided that one of these lines, that I think they're going to go for a island push, which is pretty much the direction that Danger Close is set up for.
Yeah, if they play into it, it could,
Bring the
come back
back
to haunt them. Yeah, exactly. Only the one bat chat over on the 8-9 line. Maybe Salt predicting that they've shifted a bunch of their tanks over towards the 8-9 line, because that's where they've been getting their picks towards, and that they would be weak over on the water side. However, that's not the case. 4 of their 5 guns left alive are over here. So if there was a way for DC to claw back into this would be one way for it to happen.
And if you look at the hit points, Danger Close is only less than 1,000 behind, so this quite possibly could go back in their favor. However, Danger Close, as you said, do still have that bat chat on the 8-9 line, and it's going to take a while to get them over here.
Isn't in a position to light them as they make this push, so they may not even know they're here until they are on top of Silent. Now it's going to be up to the rest of these guns to start getting off some good damage. Silent can stay alive for a while, but these other guns are going to have to do a good job. Make sure they focus fire. Artillery shot going out there into the 215B for 700. However, they are able to focus out that first bat chat. but they get silent down instead, and they don't even actually trade it out. That's just another gun down for DC.
That's going to bring down... They can possibly pick up this Batchat here that's on 200 HP, but it doesn't seem like Hall is going to really worry about that, and he's just going to get focused out. He's in a crossfire here from the island and over here down on the... over on the hill. So that's going to basically just... that's going to sure up this game for Salt. They have 2 minutes left, and that's more enough time to take out 3 tanks.
Yeah, definitely. It's just a matter of cleanup now. They have so many guns, and they huge HP lead. Just not able to punish that one-line push. Silent Demise was not in a position to really spot that one-line push, so they made it all the way down to Hotel 1 before they even knew that push was coming, and the other 2 Batchats just weren't in a position to do anything. Now, the thing to keep an eye on is both the Batchats have actually run for danger close. It's just the 2-on-5 down here. So if these Batchats were able to get away, maybe get up on one of the boosts and just kind of slow it down, they could, in theory, stall this game out. However, with almost 2 minutes on cap, I would expect to see a bunch of them just stack cap here and make danger close come back to them.
Well, Nally is going to get onto this A8 boost, but it really doesn't matter because Salt has access to 2 cap, and it's going to force them to do something.
And it looks like Zone is going to get caught out here making this cross. Batchat AP coming straight towards him. A little bit of team damage there coming out on the gym leader Surge. Made a TVP trying to shoot Zoned and missing. And they're all just chasing Zone, and Zone's just trying to get some resets onto Cap and hope that they can't kill Nally. He does get the shot onto the M53, but doesn't get the reset shot onto their Batchat, and now it is all just up to Nally, which a task too big for one man, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, 13 seconds, he can't even get there in time.
And so far, to be honest, Danger Close hasn't even killed a tank for Salt in 2 rounds.
It seems that would be the case. Now, what is the rest of the maps for tonight? I don't believe we've said what they are.
I can tell you in just 1 second. Let's see here. Map picking. All right, Danger Close versus Salt. First map was mine. Second map is Cliff, and third is Proke. So, obviously at this point, mine's not.
Artie's OP, obviously.
Yeah, out of both teams coming off, and that was even with Get Clicked only doing 2 shots of damage. He was still top on his team at 1,300. Meanwhile, Giggles putting up 3K in that M53-55. So a good overall good position. United Giggles, great blind fire on to Get Clicked. Still not entirely sure how that entirely happened. There was a really odd chain of events to watch. However, it did happen, and then got the picks onto that Batchat. I'm pretty sure he killed that Batchat pretty much entirely by himself as well. So. Not bad out of that artillery.
And if you look at the damage, Batchat 1 shot, another Batchat 1 shot of damage done, 140, 1 shot of damage done, Spirit Walker 0 damage done, and it's just, other than Artie, the only person to do more than 1 shell of damage. No, not even. The Wally ended up getting a ram, or it might have been Hesh. That penned one of the Batchats to get 528 damage, but other than that, Get Clicked On's the only person that did more than 1 shell of damage. And that is definitely going to bite you in the ass.
Yep, and a lot of little things just hurting DC there in the long run. The Batchat not having that boost down, if you're even going to attempt it, you have to make sure that your players have it down 100% of the time and can do it first time every time, otherwise it's not... You can't put it into a strat and depend on it working. And when you run a strat like that, you have to make sure that you can get those tanks into those positions. And, when you have to do the same climb 4 times over, it's a lot of time that you're burning, not getting the intel, and not being safe. And, you saw what Salt was able to do to it.
Well, that's going to bring us into Cliff. And the tank picking is pretty much done with, so we're going to go ahead into the second map. It's going to be Salt on attack.
And while Cliff is the most diverse map in the game, we are going to see nothing but Batchats. 6 Batchats in an RU-251 out of Salt, excuse me. And meanwhile, Danger Close bringing 3 bat chats, 2 113s, a 140, and a 1390. And why I say this is the most map in the game, there's definitely an inside joke there, which some people will get and some won't. Not. don't threat. Well, not actually being serious.
Bringing heavy tanks in this map, although there are 113s, they're going to be slow getting to this fight, and Salt will definitely know to use that to their advantage. As you can see, that they're going to split some of their bat chats to go up the ramp with the RE251. They're going to send a group of, I believe that is 4 bat chats down the 2 line. They're going to go ahead and take control of the donut. We're going to see the Object 140 on Danger Close taking the little boost right there to look towards the donut, also look towards the hill. We're going to see the bat chat get clicked on, go up towards that hill. Not really going up. But the
113s are going to close. They're going to take a shot of damage. However, they are going the long way, so they should get here safely eventually.
But now we have to worry about the bat chats that are over in the donut. It's going to basically pick apart Wally. It looks like they're only going to get 1 volley off, 2 shots pinned, and they just got that shot in the side for free. You know, this is kind of why you bring a lot of fast tanks on this map, because it's so wide open. There's so many different ways you can get shot from.
However, if you take a look up at A5, Zone is trying to get up here onto the A5 ledge. This ledge can be very useful if he doesn't fail it. However, he has to take 2 tries to get up here. So once again, Danger Close relying on a lot of these climbs, but it appears they haven't put the practice in to really get these down consistently.
It seems like Zone is going to fall off of that ledge. Now, there's not really much movement. In fact, like most of the bat chats are just going to stay here and wait for lights. We're going to see Maurice coming up into the middle, trying to get lights on something, but it seems like he got lit from this Object 140 in the middle, and he's aware that he's there. So, guns are trained on that 140, on that little ledge. Seems like Danger Close is opting to basically give up map control for a more, let's say, strange defense, actually.
Yeah, and they do get the bat chat finally up into the say 6 boost or A5 boost, and he does get some shots off towards these bat chats pushing. Meanwhile, Nelly is going to run away from that first spot, and it looks like he's just going to tuck in right below Zone in another bush over here, just off a cap. So clever defense here out of Danger Close. However, hole in that 140 is spotted, and they're going to trade shots. However, the bat chat's bouncing a lot of their shots, finally starting to make some solid connections.
This is really going to push that 140 out of position. They're not really they basically didn't pin or missed half of their shots. And that's going to give that 140 a chance to get out of there and run.
Yep, and if you look at it, though, it looks like Danger Close is going to take this opportunity to make a play right now because they know both these bat chats are reloading. Nally is just going to come over, and he's going to look for shots onto these bat chats and punish them while they reload. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is just going to push over in the middle.
And these 113s are pushing out into the open ground, and Salt have 2 bat chats in an RU251 on top of that hill. They're trying to scream to get these 113s across with their bat chats, but they just can't do it, and they're going to end up dropping that 113 basically for free. And the other 113, Wally, is going to take a good substantial amount of damage as well. These bat chats that are on the hill, they're also getting punished for trying to get up on here, and they're just getting shot from behind, and they really can't get this tank. That they lost an entire bat chat just trying to get up on this ledge, and then the other bat chats are just going to run.
So just a whole lot of different little things going wrong there for Danger Close. Salt making a pretty good play up the one line there. If I had any critique for him, those bat chats only made about half their shots count. Meanwhile, Air G picks up Nally by ramming him, and there's only 2 tanks left alive for DC. However, DC making progress. They actually get a kill this round.
Seem that they're going to kill, and there's a lot of tanks on the side of Salt that are so close to a one-shot. If you sneeze, they're going to die, but they're just doing such a good job of covering up their tanks and just not having the one-shots die.
Yeah, no, good job rotating out tanks, getting the low HP out. However, just a whole lot of the guns there for Dander Close just not able to be effective. Hole down in that spot on the low ground, he did get spotted. I think they were relying on that bush there on the low ground to keep him unspotted and alive, just so he can get shots off later. However, he did get spotted, and those Batchats had a good position to get shots on him. And then after they did that, they tried to send the 1390 to go chase him down. The 1390 couldn't close quickly enough, and then they scrambled around the rest of their defense to try to go push the rest of the map. Well, they knew those two Batchats were out of the fight and reloading, and they just couldn't make the play happen. Part of it has to do, if you think about the theory of what they did. They waited for the Batchats to push over there, and they kind of got shots off as they pushed. The thing is Danger Close didn't make their play until all the Batchats had fired. By being down on that one line in the low ground all the way up at A1, they're out of the fight at that point, regardless of whether or not they fired or not. They could drive and get into the fight, but you still have that opportunity right then. They have to drive all the way over there and get back up onto the high ground. And so instead, they waited till they fired all their shots and hurt that 140. If they timed that better, waited till they knew those 140s or the Batches were committed and then pushed even without them firing, or when they started to fire, they could have given themselves at least a little bit better of an opportunity to get in there and do more damage to Salt.
Now, another thing that they could have done is not push those 113s across. They lost both of their 113s to get 2 shots of damage off when they could have just as well gotten their damage off from underneath that hill while their Batchats pushed up. I mean, it's not worth it. They took two Batchat clips in the back of the 113s. Just they gave those 113s up.
Yeah, exactly, and and that's part of the reason why just heavy tanks in general are kind of out of the meta in this map. Is the way it's set up right now. You have to be able to respawn really quickly and move around, and those 113s, even being fast for heavy tanks, just aren't quick enough to really get in a position to punish tanks, which is how that defense for Danger Close was set up. It was set up to be a reactive defense. They do one thing and we'll do another, and just not coming through there for them.
And it seems like DCG has learned their lesson, and they don't have any heavy tanks. The lineup is a STB-1, 2 140s, 2 Batchats, another 140, and an RU-251, while you go back to Salt and 1 TVP and RU-251 and the rest Batchats. Now DCG are going to only send 1 STB-1 up that 5 line and then stick the rest of their team over here in this donut. They do end up shooting the RU-251. I'm not sure if he got spotted. Probably, considering that 2 shots hit. But they're going to go ahead and push up. Well, if you look at Salt, another thing, 2 Batchats are in the back, 2 Batchats on the hill, and then you have this TVP on this little boost. So they pretty much have most of this map well covered out, and I'm starting to see a little bit where, DCG really can't go anywhere from where they are.
It's really hard to attack this map if you don't have any middle presence. However, going to the 3 line here like this is a risk if you don't send all of your guns there, because if the other team does the same thing, all of a sudden you're pushing yourself into an overmatch. And so it's kind of hard to figure out what you want to do. Do you take the middle and give the 3 line? And what's the other team going to do? And I refer to it pretty frequently as just a Russian roulette that is Cliff. What is the other team going to do? You have no way of knowing. The lineups are so similar for any of these strats that there is no way of predicting what they're going to do based upon a lineup, and it's very hard to read. And there's just you have to take risks for it to pay off. But it's hard to do it very conservatively, where you keep your guns together, you don't make any mistakes, but you put yourself in a good position to win.
We're going to go ahead and see Giggles get on top of this hill. We're going to start proxy lighting some of the stuff up here, as well as, just line of sight lighting to have a good idea of where everyone is. And, just hopefully he doesn't fall. Just like Grand Finals, but it seems like the 2 Batchats that Danger Close have pushed around towards the bottom of the hill are going to have shots on Giggles, so he falls off the hill and takes uses whatever little cover that he can. So they do force him off of that hill. Now it seems like Danger Close is going to try and take advantage of Giggles moving off, and he's going to start taking shots in the back. So we do see hit points going in the favor of Danger Close now.
However, Salt are starting to group up their tanks and move towards the hill. Nally and RU-251 off of the flank, finding some good shots on these Batchats. But the problem is that Salt have a lot of these autoloaders, and if Danger Close has been counting their shots, they might decide just to push over and try to create a brawl. Bringing these 140s and STBs, they have a lot more consistent fire than Salt do with these Batchats.
Optimize would have pushed out a little bit more. He would have had a free shot on that 140. But this TVP is actually stopping them from doing anything. They're covered from both sides. Danger Close cannot push out anywhere because of that TVP plus all the Batchats are just hidden in every little nook and cranny that they can possibly get on. Now we're going to see a Batchat for Salt just start heading to the back to get another line of fire. But at that time, DCG is going to start pushing out, trying to get whatever they can. They're still going to take out one of the tanks on Salt. Now, DCG seem to not be taking that much HP. They end up focusing on Gym Leader Misty right now, trying to take out anything that's on the hill as well. Now, there's tons of fire coming in from the tanks on Salt's side that are off in the distance, but it seems like DCG are currently going to get a little advantage right now. However, they do have a few one-shot tanks, and Danger Close is currently clipping on most of their tanks.
They've left themselves between all these guns for Salt, so Salt, as soon as these tanks come off a reload, are going to be able to just deliver a bunch of hurt. And Air G just able to pick up 2 kills instantly as soon as he's reloaded, and Danger Close are still just stuck here between 2 groups of autoloaders.
Now, this is going back and forth right now. It's pretty much even, well, not really. As far as hit points it is, but Salt do have the tank advantage. They have the 2 TVPs and the 2 Batchats and a TVP. Well, there's only, one of the tanks for DCG is the tier 8. Seems like Silent Demise is going to be able to pick up a few shots on Cold. The TVP seems to be putting out shots, but they're mostly bouncing. Now Nally's going to take a few shots in the background there. This can really go any way currently. I mean, it depends on what team plays it right and who makes the least amount of mistakes. There is enough time for it to go both ways as well. It seems like Zone is in fact clipping though. 13 seconds left on his clip. Luckily I can see that because I'm on his team. If Zone pokes out right now, he can get a full clip on that Batchat.
So all 3 essentially a one-shotter except for the Batchat of Cold Steam.
Cold Steam's going to push in front of this RU-251. He can easily be a one-shot after that. There it goes. Definitely a one-shot now, and now it is Danger Close finally putting themselves on the scoreboard.
3-1, coming in a little bit late there. However, it does work. It's not pretty, but it gets the job done. And DC's lineup there was pretty obvious. Just counter meta is really what it comes down to. A lot of these teams have been shifting towards bringing nothing but autoloaders, so they stack their team with 140s, and they try to bait some shots out, and then make the push once they know those autoloaders are down and can't really finish up anything. And looking at the damage, it's actually a Batchat 251 of Zoned putting up 3,900 damage, almost 4K, and then the tier 8 of Nally and that RU-251 doing 2,500 damage that round. So being very effective in that RU-251, just playing that weak flank by himself. So pretty good stuff there across the board. And Salt, just nothing extraordinary. Just some damage across the board. No one getting caught out really, but no one doing any massive amount of damage that's going to blow anyone's mind.
I mean, the damage spread on Salt is frankly really, really good. It's just the 3 top players on Danger Close, especially that RE251 pulling out that much damage in that tier 8, is frankly what won them the game.
Oh yeah, exactly. And that RE251, that's part of the reason why you bring it, is because it has a consistent fire gun, and they were able to put it up onto that F2 ledge there where he had good shots both in the middle and over towards the north, and if anyone wanted to go kill him, they had to commit into the rest of the guns of Danger Close. So, he was able to do a lot of work that round. Now, like I said, the biggest problem there is, Danger Close pushed over, and it didn't seem like they were really ready for those Batchats just to make that push over the top of the hill when they pushed down on the low side. So they pushed in, and they did get an isolation on a tank. However, some of the tanks from Salt were pretty smart in pushing over, and it left Danger Close sitting in the middle there between 2 groups. And when that he got off reload, the 2 one-shotter tanks just weren't in a position where they could really go anywhere or do anything. They just got picked off. So if I had a bone to pick with what DC did there, it would definitely be that.
Well, that's going to bring us into the next map, Proforovka, and that's going to be Danger Close, I believe, on defense. But they definitely have to dig their teeth in and put their feet down and stop Salt from taking any game from them, because a 2-tank lead is, that's the 2-game lead is pretty hard to come back from. But we're going to go ahead into the 5th match of this series.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, Salt on Prokhorovka is a very difficult thing. This is one of the maps that they play very, very well. So I would not want to be in Dangerclos's shoes right now.
You're saying this is probably Salt's pick.
I could tell you whose pick it is, actually. Let's see here. It is... Yep, this was Salt's pick.
All right, we're going to go ahead over the lineups. We have two Batchat APs, 2 013s, a Centurion, and a Batchat on the side of DCG, while an RU-251, 2 140s, 2 Batchats, an E5, and an STB on Salt. And we're going to see Jim Leader Sarge take a scouting run up here on this mid-range with this RU-251. And he's going to go ahead and spot an alley, as well as probably most of the rest of his team. Doesn't really try and get a shot off, but it looks like the Centurion is looking to get a shot. It's possible the C5 is going to get shot, and he does. Now the rest of the team of Salt is sitting in the background just waiting for shots, and anyone that's going to probably try and punish anyone that's in this middle.
So Dangerclose coming out on the negative end of that trade, the whole just losing 1100 HP for 1 shot of damage onto that E5.
Yeah, that's Salt. All those tanks in the back definitely doing some work, and they're doing what they're intended.
However, the thing is, this hole is staying in the middle here next to this E5, which has left them. They're an easy isolation, really, and the rest of the guns for Dangerclose are just sitting here in the backfield. They have that Batchat AP sitting over at A6, and the rest of them just tucked in here behind these 113s at A2, hoping that Salt makes some sort of one-line play into these 113s. However, that is an extreme, it's a bit of a gamble, and Salt actually doing the smart thing right now and shifting their tanks out of here, going over towards the 9-0. If you have 2 heavy tanks sitting at D2, it's a pretty safe assumption that the rest of the guns are somewhere where they can support them, most likely at A2, and trying to make that push, especially blind, is just pretty much certain death. So you gotta go to plan B, which is back out and find a different way to attack.
Right, and for a minute there, their strats almost look mirrored. 2 guys in the middle, right next to that bowl, and the rest of the team ready to punish anything that tries to push on those guys in the bowl. I've seen that strat quite a few times, and it's kind of be expected by now.
Yeah, and the RU-251 getting over to G1 while the 2 140s are shifting over to their side of the map. So this is where that E5 and that Action X need to be careful. These 140s are going to open up another angle, and that E5 is not going to be able to play there. And what I expect to happen is these 140s get a little bit more aggressive here. The E5 start to back off, and then the E5 and STB from Salt will push over into that bull.
Those 140s do run the risk of being spotted by that Batchat AP, and the surprise really won't be there, so it seems like they are staying a little bit lower on the hill. So I believe that they know that they're there.
Yeah, well, it's that, and they're also probably worried about the rest of the guns sitting at A2, A3. It's pretty predictable they're down there, so they're making sure not to overexpose anything where they could get shot. If you've played a pub match recently in this map, a lot of tank destroyers tend to sit at, A2, B2. And so, if you're playing aggressive in the medium, you pop up the wrong angle, just like to all of a sudden, lose 1,000 HP to a JPE just sitting back there. So you just they're just being careful from the angles, not trying to give away any free HP. They started off with a good trade early. They got that, that was basically an 800 damage positive trade in favor of Salt, so you don't want to give that away.
Seems like that Batchat AP did run up the rim. The Batchats are, for Salt, in the very back along those train tracks. We're able to land 1 shot on them. It seems like there's not really chasing them or anything, just trying to go. They're going to take the HP that Batchat let them have. But it seems that now that Batchat knows what shot them, DCG is going to send the rest of their tanks down this one line. And this RU-251 is going to light them.
It's going to take a minute for them to spot that RU-251. So when he does decide to leave, he's going to sit there. That may be his death. He had an opportunity to run, but these guys are going to spot him here in a minute, and I expect to see them just turn and just drop him in combination with the Batchats. And there it goes. Guns about face, and good night, Gym Leader Surge.
Well, there goes all the eyes for Salt. So this could be potentially easier for DCG right now. However, they are giving them the majority of the 2-cap.
Yeah, they are giving him a 2-cap. Now the only one up there to defend it. However, they will get good damage on these tanks running. That 140 getting caught out. Another 500. He does get tracked. And so 140 is low on HP and is just Nally up there, and he's going to choose to back off so he doesn't get jumped on. However, the biggest problem is they have now is Salt have very quickly dumped 3 onto caps. They understand that Danger Close are far away, and now Danger Close only have 28 seconds to get guns in position to reset, and they are on the other side of the map.
It seems like that hole is going to be the best bet to get back on that cap. That or the Batchat AP. I don't know if it has enough gun depression to shoot underneath these train tracks. There is 12 seconds on the clock, and Danger Close cannot afford to let them get the shot picked up this match.
Yeah, no one. Now he's going to be the only one that could line up a shot. Hole's going to try for it.
He doesn't get it.
He doesn't fire off in time. Couldn't get the angle, and
that's going to be another game for Salt, and that's going to bring Salt to match point.
Yep. So a very quick response there out of Salt. They understood that they had that they could put that cap pressure on, and Danger Close probably didn't have anybody in position to get the resets, and so they very quickly got over there, even though it lost them some HP, and they got that cap pressure going. And that cap pressure is the only thing that won in that game. They were down on HP. They arguably didn't have a very good position outside of being able to put that cap pressure on. So if they hadn't capped out there, Danger Close had found a reset. That game would have been over and it would have been a DC win. But the quick response there, stacking the tanks on cap and capping out, it's the only thing that saved them that round. So going over the damage here real quick, not that that was super important on a cap out, but Hole in that Action X, only able to put up 1,200, and then Wrecker Tank 95 doing another 1,200, and then Zone in that 113 putting up just over 1,000, and everybody else dropping off after that. Meanwhile, Salt, not anyone breaking 1,000, but it doesn't matter because they did get the win. Coldstream, let's see who else dumped on that cap. The STB lift, and then the 140 giggles all dumping on cap, and they all have pretty much identical cap points sitting all around 32 to 34 pop. So, like I said, just a very quick response there. They got on the cap, and that's the only thing that saved them that round was getting that cap pressure that quick and knowing that Danger Close was out of position. Danger Close arguably should have known that would have been their play and tried to move into position to get those resets a little bit sooner, but just a little bit too slow.
Yeah, and it's just, I believe that Centurion could have reset. He just didn't shoot fast enough.
I don't think he found an angle under the train track soon enough. It's a real difficult angle there, and he couldn't risk popping over at A6 because he would die before he could get the shot off. Not able. No amount of gun depression would have saved him there. Meanwhile,
Danger Close seems to have lost a player.
I don't know if he backed out of the garage last minute.
All right, so Danger Close is going to call a DC.
Yeah, they are going to call disconnect, and they're going to back out into the garage, and we'll have just a moment here.
All right, so we're both still in spectator. Seems like they found everyone, and we're going to go right back in.
Yep, so no changes are able to come out of either team lineup-wise. So we don't see any changes there. And looking at it, Danger Close going with an RU-251, an Object 140, and then 5 Batchats. Meanwhile, looking over at Salt, 113, an IS-7, 2 Batchats, a 140, an STB, and an RU-251. So going with a little bit more defensive lineup, bringing that IS-7 makes me think they're going to run a east side defense with that IS-7 hold down at E5 to get the resets. The other thing we could see a very similar defense to what Danger Close just ran over on the 1-2 line. My gut feeling says east side, and my gut is wrong.
The IS-7 probably going to rush the mid-ridge, try and get some shots. Both the RU-251s are going to come. Actually, all the Batchats are just coming up. Now, these Batchats aren't going to be loaded in time. So I don't know what they're doing. Are they going to try and cross over to the other side of train tracks? They're actually going to be loaded now.
And Nally is going to spin out that RU-251, keeping him around. However, the 140 in the south is going to get some shots onto him. Some sloppy shots coming out of both teams. However, Gym Leader Surge is still alive. Nally is down. And they are going to try to do their own cap out. They have stacked their own cap. However, the 140 is already in position at A6, and nothing is going to back him off.
Now, quite possibly Get Clicked On and Wally are going to try and push over and get this 140, but there's an SCB-1 and a Bat Chat waiting for him. Now Danger Close has crossed over into an overmatch. Wally, recognizing that, is going to stay on the other side of the train tracks, but Get Clicked On is now a one-shot, and his SCB-1 can easily either reset or take him out. Now, this game is definitely in the favor of Salt now. They have the hit points, and they have the positions. Seems like Danger Close is going to prefer to go ahead and try and push down towards the mediums, just throw themselves over and try and get the resets, but Salt is just taking out tanks left and right. They had the positions, and they didn't, Danger Close aren't connecting their shots, apparently, as well. But they're going to pick up a few tanks, possibly pick up the STV-1, but they're down on hit points by more than half, and I do believe that Salt is going to tie this up. I mean, and not tie this up, win the series.
Yep, Danger Close. I see what they're going for there, trying to go for some cheeky plays, pick off the RU-251 and try to get that cap pressure going. However, they didn't really account for that tank down at A6. And what I like there out of Assault is, well, it's not to say that I like it out of him. It was, I want to say almost rash, because it could have worked against them if you think about it. But they instead of clearing the whole one line and making sure they had control of the west side, they just came back to A6 and made sure they got those resets. And they didn't clear the rest of that 1-2 line. And while that worked well for this case, it made sure that Danger Close couldn't cap out. The problem is if there was some sort of bait going on there, like we've seen some of the Gold League teams do, with leaving tanks down at, say, Kilo 2, and then shifting a couple others towards A2, and they'd shifted in towards that 6 line sooner, and those tanks could have come behind, they would have been left in a really brutal crossfire. So maybe need to be a little bit more cautious there in the long run. However, it pays off this round, obviously. They pick up the win, and that makes it 5-1. So Salt will move on to the August playoff finals.
And that is going to be here on this channel Wednesday.
Yeah, it should be, or at least you will be. I will unfortunately be out on Wednesday.
If you want to commentate, go ahead. It's $20 to get on stream, apparently. But if we're gonna go ahead and look at the Danger Close, definitely going for a high risk, high reward strat.
Definitely.
Yeah, and it's, out of all the things that could have went wrong, it seemed like Salt had someone in the right place with everything that they did.
Yeah, well, they covered all their bases, and like I said, the biggest thing there, if I had any complaints about what Salt did, is just that they didn't establish control of that of the west side of the map. Period. Once they felt that Danger Close had committed over there, only by spotting half their team, they just immediately shifted, and they didn't send even just like an RU-251 to scout the one line to make sure it was clear, and they just got in position to get those the resets, and it worked out this time because that's exactly what Danger Close was doing. However, a more veteran team might have baited that a bit better, left tanks away at the hill and left stuff down on the one line, and punished them for moving that prematurely, I guess I'd say. So, overall though, once again, it worked out for Salt. They get the win, so congrats to them. Just nitpicking at stuff in the long run.
Right, and that is going to do for this stream. Everyone, be sure to come back Wednesday. And thank you, Rockstar, for being my co-host tonight.